Hi everyone, welcome to this winter solstice restorative class. Ideally you'll have a bolster or some firm pillows and a blanket and 2 or 3 yoga bricks or some books would be fine. And I recommend having an eye pillow to hand, and if you don't, you can make one using a sock, some rice and a rubber band. That's what I'll be using today. Okay, so we'll start just by taking a little bit of movement to prepare for the stillness for solstice. And let's start just swaying to and fro. You might feel that you want to move backwards and forwards, but swaying whichever way feels right for you. Maybe taking some tiny little circles from your hips, rocking forwards and back. You could do these movements seated on a chair if you're not comfortable cross-legged on the floor. If you've been doing tiny circles in one direction, then just take some in the other direction. And then find that point of stillness. Maybe letting one ear dropping down towards the shoulder. And then the head back up. And the other ear down towards the other shoulder. A very gentle stretch. Lifting to center. Rotating the shoulders. And then reversing that direction just 2 or 3 times. And again, some of that swaying movement, keeping it easeful. Okay. So taking our time now to come down to the mat, we'll start lying in Savasana with bolster or pillows underneath your knees. I've got a folded blanket underneath my head. Maybe closing down the eyes and settling down into the floor, the ground. Noticing any areas which are maybe resistant to this pose. You might prefer to have your legs outstretched. Observing where you notice your breath. It may be the sound of the breath, or the length of your inhale, or the rise and fall of your chest or tummy. Just noticing any way your breath. Winter solstice, the sun appears to be still, to stand, to pause. And in this practice, we are focusing on pausing and resting and finding stillness. Rather than reflecting on the year that's gone or looking ahead to the year that is to come, let's truly take a pause. No judgments, no expectations, no intentions, other than to stop. To really observe that punctuation between last year and next year. This tiny point of stillness. So from here we'll move into our first pose, our first restorative pose for this sequence. But really taking your time we're going to come to lie face down on the mat. So you can do this any way you wish. You might want to draw your knees in. Maybe while you're there, drawing them in over your body, rocking the knees from side to side, possibly letting the head drop in the opposite direction to your knees. Bringing the feet down, shifting the hips over so that your knees can come down, pushing up, first of all, onto all fours. Pushing your pillow or bolster a little further down the mat, maybe placing the backs of your feet onto the bolster, coming down onto your forearms until you find your tummy. Using this folded blanket or a very small pillow underneath your forehead, maybe bringing the support a little higher by placing your hands on top of each other as a bit more of a pillow, and you'll bring your forehead to rest on the backs of your hands. So it may take a bit of time for your body to acclimatise to this pose. Observing whether in the back of your body there are some muscle groups perhaps you can let go of. So releasing through the buttocks and through the ankles. And releasing between the shoulder blades. See if your chest and your stomach can come into more contact with the ground beneath you. There may be more weight of the head that you can allow to surrender to the floor. See if you can soften through the back of the neck, the jaw, behind the ears. I pause. I rest. I am still. If your mind goes into planning mode, looking ahead to the year to come, or if your mind starts to reflect and look back on plans over the past year, see if you can return to this moment of stillness. See if you can soften your body further onto the mat. Thinking of this time of solstice, the winter solstice, the longest nights. A time for going deep, for acknowledging the beauty of the dark. And being still, conserving energy for the winter. With really soft, slow breaths, stay here for 3 or 4 rounds of breath, nice and easy, slowly inhaling and exhaling. And with care, we'll start to make a move towards our next shape. So to start with, pushing yourself up onto all fours. Going to come to a supported child's pose, another introspective shape. If child's pose isn't good for your knees, I suggest you curl up on your side in baby pose. Make sure you've got enough pillow underneath your head. Let your bottom arm stretch out to the side, and you might hug onto a pillow or bolster, just the end of a bolster. If your knees are okay with child's pose, take your 2 bricks and place the top end of your bolster up on your bricks. And then bringing the blanket perhaps as a little bit of a pillow, and potentially another pillow for between your heels and your bum. Bringing yourself up close to your bolster, widening the knees, and then coming forward, forearms onto the ground, forehead onto the pillow so that you've got that gap for your nose. And then softening here, letting the tailbone extend down towards the floor. Let the space between your shoulder blades open. And let the support beneath you hold you. Let your body, your head feel heavy and supported, releasing onto this support. I pause. I rest. I am still. So taking a bit of time in this shape, feeling into the breath, letting each exhale bring more relaxation to your muscles, particularly letting the spine lengthen, the tailbone draw away. Of course, you can come out of the pose whenever you need to. And as long as you're comfortable, staying here for a few more really good quality breaths, nice and slow, not necessarily your maximum lung capacity, but good quality full breaths. Deepening that breath once more, and before moving out of this shape, just starting to consider how you might do so, whether you need to take care of any part of your body, your knees, your hips. So placing your hands either side of your bolster, pushing up. And for the next pose, we'll take a heart opener supported Savasana. So we can leave the support there just as it is. Removing the pillow from between your knees, placing it towards the end of your mat, making sure that your eye pillow is to hand. Sitting back towards your bolster so that there's a bit of a gap, maybe a couple of inches there. Making sure that you've got a good support under your knees. So I'm going to roll this pillow up here, lying back onto your bolster so that your head is on your little pillow. Relaxing the feet, maybe letting the feet dangle out to the side. And bringing the backs of the hands to the ground. You might want them a little bit away from the body. You might find it more comfortable to have them beside you. You may wish to remove a block from under the bolster if this feels just too much. So taking time to find your comfortable position. I'm going to use the eye pillow, so getting the rice all nicely distributed. Place that over your eyes to help with that relaxation, the introspection. Having found your heart opener pose, and it may be literally just some pillows, maybe with one pillow at the end to prop it up, but so that you're just slightly propped up. Using your breath to help you find that pause, to access a comfortable stillness. I pause, I rest, I am still. Of course, moving out of the shape if at any point you feel it's not suiting your body at this moment. And if you're comfortable too, seeing if you can let your head sink into the support a little more. If the front of your chest can open a little more. If your legs and your feet can feel just a little tiny bit more heavy. Softening your whole body into this stillness. Relaxing your attention into this pause. Breathing steadily, slowly, and fully. So you may be really comfortable just as you are. And if that's the case, stay as you are. I'm going to suggest that we move into a Savasana a little lower to the ground to end. So to do that, to give yourself a bit of support, first maybe bending the knees, bringing the soles of your feet to the ground. Just taking the eye pillow off for a moment. I'm going to use the pillow to have my feet supported. I'm going to bring my bolster underneath my knees here. I'm going to move the blocks out of the way. I'm going to put my head down on the folded blanket. Eye pillow still to hand. Okay. So it may be that you wish to find my other recording for a winter solstice nidra, or you may just want to soften here. Make sure that the video isn't going to start playing an advert after this, so you could pause the recording or stop the recording. It's always good to have your YouTube set to not play the next thing, I find, when doing these practices. Settling your eye pillow over your eyes, making sure that feels comfortable, a nice snug fit. Settling into the ground. Letting your legs feel heavy. Your feet soften into that support. See if the back of the body, the spine, the waist can find a little more closeness, a little more proximity to the ground. Softening between the shoulder blades once more. And settling into the stillness in this darkness. Knowing that soon the wheel will turn, the light is returning, but for now we pause, we rest, we are still. You may wish to stay here for a little longer, or you may choose to allow yourself to drift to sleep. If you'd like to close practice with me, let's very slowly take our time to find seated. Removing your eye pillow, knees in towards the chest, rocking from side to side. Rocking fully over onto one side. Pausing here just for a moment. Pushing up to seated. Thank you for practicing this restorative class with me for the winter solstice. I wish you peace. Om Shanti.